I'm live. Hi guys. Hi everybody. Yeah, one person watching, I think. We'll see. I like to give people time to hop on, chit chat, talk to himself. Hey, we got two people. All right. See who's in the chat room. Anybody out there? Got some fun stuff today, guys. Again, if you guys got any questions, we're gonna go over, like I said, some stuff I've seen online was how people process their work area, especially in the S1. So I'm gonna have another camera. Maybe we'll see if this guy works today. But listen, we have fancy set here, guys. Cool camera, but it doesn't work all. I'm sure it's good. Right. Chime in through there. Ooh, there's one man on camera. Oh, you see the back of my head. Switch. Switch. All right, still got people. Guys, chime in. Too old. Harvey, how you doing, buddy? Oh, jeez. Try some new things here today, guys. All right. Make everybody dizzy watching my camera. All right. Sorry, I was messing with stuff. I had Pam hop on. Ooh, that is really weird, wasn't it? I just noticed that. I'm doing good. Crazy. It's been a crazy week. Getting ready for a show tomorrow. 2 day show tomorrow. What else I got going on? I got a show next week. Got some stuff going on at the end of the month. Then we get ready for our 10-day show. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't mean to flip you guys around. So now we're about to turn that one off right now. So I'm making people too dizzy. Um, again, we're gonna go over some setup stuff again, especially on the S1. Hear myself back there. Um, again, I had one person hop on. Pamela, you can chime in, say hi. She hopped on. We kind of walked through some stuff. Again,
Hey
I'm gonna do
everyone.
this. We're gonna do this probably not next week because I got a special thing next week. We're gonna have Jacob Jingleheimer. You guys see him in some of the chats. We're gonna have Carrie Young, Mike Smirka, and Steve Avery are gonna hop on with me, and we're gonna answer questions and all that good stuff. And I'm not sure right now it's gonna be on YouTube for sure. Might be on Facebook also. I gotta get some verifications first. So again, we're gonna have a bunch of all of us are demo hosts too. So we're here to help you guys. So if you got questions, again, I'll post that live sooner so you guys can add questions to that one. But yeah, we'll have a whole herd of us on here next week. So uh, to answer our questions, and I might just do more moderating, let them just talk. I don't like to, but again, we're gonna go over. It, I'm gonna try to do a sign. I gotta make a sign for my own self for my own business. So we're gonna go over that, how to do that too, also tonight, real quick. Again, ask questions. It's. I know people are hopping on, hopping off, but it is what it is. I'm gonna hang out. Pamela's gonna ask me questions. Harvey's gonna ask me questions. We're gonna go through some stuff. Um, so we're gonna start. Ask one. Let's go to the workspace here. Let's go to workspace. Let's share my screen. Share my screen. All right. So gotta be able to see myself. Let's see myself. Yeah, makes me feel better. All right, so XCS again, new people, old people, and maybe got questions. F1, S1, R2 fan, suggestions and how to connect it on all to it. Same as the F1 close is small. Harvey, you need a 3D printer. There's a lot of nice guys. So, but again, you guys are gonna see me read chats and all that stuff. So bear with me if you're watching it later, earlier. Again, we do this every Thursday this month. Probably will go into the first Thursday of the 4th of July. Then I'm gonna take a couple weeks off and then we'll get back to it. Maybe every month, every week. We'll see. I'm not sure. I like it, but it's definitely depends on how busy I am. So, because we got a lot of new stuff for me coming up, so keeping myself busy. But again, if you guys are hopping on, getting ask your questions in the chat. I mean, my man Harvey's filling my chat up. So, if you got any questions, please ask. I don't know if I'm getting all bitty or what. So, okay, XCS, open a new project. A new project. So, a lot of people have a question on S1. Harvey will get to your question in just a second. Again, I need a 3D printer to hook everything together for sure. I mean, as you can see, I upgraded my system a little bit. I went to the 6-inch. I do have the IR2 that runs it all. It works. Just remember to turn it on. So, hey, dude, Nicole. Thanks for hopping on. Again, we're kind of just hopping through some stuff. I'm actually going to talk about the S1 right now. So we're going to switch over to that laser, see if it cooperates. Pamela knows what I'm talking about. Pamela's hanging out on Zoom with me. She hopped on and took advantage of the free hour, and we chit chatted about business cards and stuff like that. So she's just hanging out in the background. All right, so everybody, S1. I know it doesn't have a camera, but that little red crosshair right there is like the best thing in the world. I wish all the lasers would still have it, even ones with cameras, just because. Obviously, if I move my laser head, it actually moves with the laser, so you can see it. That's the nice thing about it. It's wherever I put this, I have a crosshairs that's on the bed, crosshairs there. I know a lot of people I've seen in chats and stuff. They ask for, well, do I gotta do the framing every time? No, you don't. So right now I'm setting the distance. People that don't have the S1. It's an auto measure. Also, can't tell. Hmm. Swear, still learning technology some days. Feel like I know it. Nicole, if you got any questions, please throw them in the chat. And like I said, we'll go through them. I'm gonna go through some things that I've seen. Like I said, usually what I do is go through some things I see in the chats over the week. There's something I'm gonna go through with. We can go over that too, Harvey. That's actually something I can do here, possibly. So, but XCS. S1 people, you do not have to run your box. You don't have to mark an area. You don't have to do this to burn anything. A lot of people are like, oh, I got to put the box out there and do this and do all this. This is just for your benefit, and you don't have to. If you put a feature out here, just grab a piggy. If I put this out there and I put it right there, it's always going to work from the top up corner down to the bottom right hand corner. So as long as I got wood in this area, And this works for every laser. It always works from top right corner down. So you don't have to have uh, your framed area. There was a bunch of people that seen it like, oh, I got to do that. You got to have your height and or your focus basically in any laser, and that's about it. Other than that, everything works from that upper hand corner always. So that was one thing I noticed. And one other thing too, S1 people. Again, I'm gonna jump around, so I don't know who's all out there. Nicole, what laser do you own? Just curiosity. Always like to know what laser. So many of them out there these days. I try to touch bases with all of them, but P2S. Okay. So for the P2S, which I don't have it on, let's turn it on. Put them all in. I don't have them. Oh. So just FYI, I do have 6 lasers running in right now. So I got a P2S, a P2, F1, F1 Ultra, and the S1 going. And technically, I can run all of them if I need to. Oh yeah, I do remember. You got you going. You got your beep figured out. Darn setting, I tell you. All right, so for photos, oh geez, the best thing to do is have white paper and a black Sharpie, preferably for signatures. If you don't, you don't have to. But if you're doing it like at a show or a live event, I've had people bring me lost my Sharpie. I've had people bring me, geez, I can't even. Yeah, old people's. Jesus, shoot, it's Precy's food prep stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Why? I can't think of the word. Oh my goodness gracious, I tell you. Recipes. There it is. That's the word I was looking for. Come on, Pamela, you're gonna help me out with that one. Sorry. Uh, I'm just gonna do this on a piece of wood, but easiest way to do this in XCS. Oh, my phone's taking pictures over here now. Somebody, yeah, I need to do this. Need my phone. Get a phone. Ooh, ooh, you thought vertigo was bad before. Sorry, Harvey. See if it comes back up. Oh boy. All right. I'll edit that one out. So what I do for you guys is I use Dropbox. Technically, you could use Dropbox, OneNote, not OneNote, OneDrive, any of those services that work with your phone and connect to your laptop. That's kind of what I use. Uh, Obviously, you still got to have Wi-Fi if you're going to do this at a show. Uh, but I'm doing this off the fly here, so bear with me. See if I can go over. So basically, I just took a picture of it. I'm gonna send it over to my laptop so I can see it eventually. But even if you get like a photo in, I think I got some recipes in here we can pull up also real quick that people have sent me. Share Dropbox. Hmm. It works usually pretty fast here, but let's see, let's see. Import. Again, you just import like you would any picture, anything. It's technically a photo, so put it in demo. It does. It's hitting, unfortunately. Again, I'm not a big fan of tablets or phones for design purposes. Just to let you guys know. Like I just wrote this down. So, um, really, really big. So the first thing you want to do with this kind of stuff, obviously crop it down so you're only getting what you want. Now all the other noise, you say crop. I know people have asked, where's the crop? They changed it. It's in a different location. It's its own tab. So nice thing about it. And then the next thing you want to do with something like this is actually change it to grayscale right off the bat. And to do that, I usually just bring it in here because you need the black and white. Anything you do, if you want to trace anything, highly suggest bringing it in and going black and white first because the more contrast you can get out of it. And then what I'm doing is just bringing up the lights and the darks and just kind of, I'm trying to get that to pop out. So it's going to pick up some of that noise in the background probably because I did it on wood instead of paper. That's why I do it on white paper because then you can get, because I've done that with like little kids' signatures, you know, do it this route. Now you can try to trace, you can go to the cutout and see if it will. See, this is, I wish xTool would fix. This is a bug that, xTool, if you're paying attention, when I change the scale, make sure that stays white. So their II feature does a very good job of removing the background. Unfortunately, it costs points to do it. It's very easy to get these points if you guys want to get them. It all has to do with the Atom. All you gotta do is upload a photo, a project to Atom, and you'll get points, get credits. That's how you get them. So it is easy to get them. I just don't do it that way. There's some manuals here, so it's maybe it wasn't too bad. Just getting the gist. So I actually cleaned up fairly decent. But something like that. I mean, I don't have to erase that background, and then you can just adjust, save. Now I can engrave that. Now that's your engraving. Uh Again, hopefully that was beneficial. I mean, again, you don't really have to remove the background. Let's actually back up. I want to see if we just did it here, how much it would pull in the trace. Because there's enough contrast. Yeah, so I was wondering. And that's where, like you said, you want to get that. If it was plain white, it wouldn't do this. So that is where the benefit of getting it cleaned up as much as possible. So you don't get rid of all that noise. But hopefully that answers that question of being able to bring it into. I know in your tablets and on your phones, there is a feature in there that will let you actually write it. You can save it to your phone. Here, let me see if I can do that now real quick. Now you got me. I wish I could share my screen to my phone, but I'm not, I know I can, I just don't know if I can do it fast. So where is my app? Because there's a notation. And again, like I said, white paper, Sharpie, it's the best thing to do to have kids do it and then just take a photo of it. And then, like I said, you can just go into the cutout, it'll erase the background, and then usually it traces the signatures really well. I did a bat for a whole baseball team. That's what I had them do. I had them write all their names. It was cool because it was their handwriting, and then we engraved it on all the bats, and it was actually a really cool thing. So let's do that. So if I go to So answer Nicole's question, there is a spot. So when you go to like import a file into it's in a weird location. You have to go back. Some open. It's file open. It's the problem. Because you have to I won't let me do it because I have to put it. So to do this, yeah, let me see if I can do that first real quick. Because if you go to open, Nicole, to answer your question, go to file, open, you go to files, you have to go to files though, from your phone. And then in there, there's usually like mine automatically feeds back to my Dropbox or my OneDrive. It actually goes to those first. I don't know if I have it set up that way or not, but you can actually pick it. Again, I think you're a Mac person, so I'm not going to give you too much crap about it, but that could be your problem. Sorry, not a Mac fan. You'll get it. Like I said, that's probably the easiest way to just get it in. Is basically getting it from your phone to your computer is the hardest part. But once you get it there, it's pretty simple to clean it up, especially if it's a nice white background. I had a feeling that was not going to give us a good thing. Somebody text us, please. Oh, let's see what other questions we have. Okay, I had another one real quick. So yeah, so like a recipe, same concepts. Let's see, I think I have a recipe in here somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. Hmm. I think I know how to spell a recipe. No. You wrote on there. RECIPE. Yeah, there it is. Recipe. So this was it right here. So again, I did go back and tweak this a little bit. So this was the recipe that they sent me. Hopefully they're okay with me showing Grandma's recipe. Uh, but something like this, again, same concept. You basically just want to go to adjust. Let's crop this first. Obviously, the cleaner, the better. You know, line paper sucks, unfortunately, because you will pick up the lines. You can either keep the lines or you can delete them. You can delete them. It does, it'll pick them up, but go and use Node Edit, use Cut. I mean, it's again, it is a little how clean you want to make it. So I think I actually had her rewrite this one. That's why the date was the way it is. As clean it as is, but again, adjust. Just again, go right to a grayscale. Again, as much contrast as you can get in it, the better. And it just brings up all the fonts. Even like this three, I think I left it like this because I wanted it to be. And then again, just go back into cutout, manual. And again, it looks bad, but it's still there. Should I probably go back? Turn 5 minutes at best. I hear. Nope, didn't like that. So in that case, we turn this back down. Mm, mm. Turn it back off. Just find that happy medium because you're going to get this noise if we don't. So I'm trying to find that happy medium of. I'm sure I could probably change this tint just a hair, but turn same thing. Just basically take this. So I'm not even that worried that that's there. Trace it. And this is where, like I said, I'm gonna have to go back and play with the settings a little bit. It's getting most of it. And obviously, like I said, you're gonna have some spots. Yeah, I'd go back and give this thing a little bit more, adjust it a little bit differently. And that's what I said. You might have to go back and forth and play with that cleanup spot. Showing her again. You don't always have to remove, especially if it's a white background. Like, it's bad. Especially not terrible. Nothing to the fat line there, but it's even like that. I wouldn't be mad about it. I mean, obviously, I'll probably still play with it a little bit, but you're not going to get stuff that's perfect. And even so, I'll show you. I don't remember which way to go with some of these things, so it was one way or the other. That's why I go a lot one way or a lot the other way. Still throwing a lot of noise out there. It's like the inside of these O's, you know. This is not doing well. I didn't think it did this bad when I did it before. So removing the background is probably going to help a lot better. But say we save this one, I would still go in here and actually go through and fix some of these, you know. I hate it when it does this. Does that. Not showing up very good to you guys. I'm sorry. That's what I thought was easy. I didn't think I had that big of a trouble with this file. Definitely removing the background helps. Because again, it limits to at least the letters. So, but, because even having that fuzz, I'd rather have that haze to them than not. It's actually missing a lot of black stuff. Anyways. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, we'll move on. But that's kind of where you go. It's just making sure there's that contrast in there. That's still not pulling in well though. I don't know why it's not. I know I've already done this. I haven't filed. See it in here. Sure. I did do it. Oh, it's a different one. I've done a few of them. But it's the same concept. It's just copied it and you leave it the way it is. I'm just not the same one. But yeah, it is doable. It does take some time. And again, what you get is sometimes what you get, unfortunately. So uh I do. So Nicole, to answer one of your questions, I just seen that. Sorry guys, I was reading the chats. I have a tendency of doing that. So if you work on your phone, that's where the MySpace. So that is the one way to get stuff from your phone back to the computer, back to your phone. So if I did something on my phone, see if it's on there. I think I had something. Let's just go this one. Back here. Let's just do something. Do something on your phone. Basically, you go to MySpace. These are the things I did on my phone. Yeah, vice versa. You just upload your computer, click on your one you want, and now you can open it on your computer. But that's the only way you can get from one to the other. So, uh, Okay. Hmm. I don't use MySpace that much because I put a lot of stuff out there. So, so my logo, I'm making a sign for my logo. I'm gonna show you guys how to kind of do this a little bit. Um, so we'll start from this one. So I made this in Adobe actually, this part, and I brought it in. We'll go to a different canvas. Start from scratch here. So this is what I'm starting with. Obviously by business. On your phone, Nicole, or on your computer? So I'm making a sign for the show. I want to separate this. This is a PNG file, guys. So this is where this comes in really handy. Um, you can actually trace a PNG file fairly easy. Just go trace. It actually does it really, really clean. If you want something with a little sharper edges, I always turn smooth down a little bit, but everything's coming through pretty clean. Usually, like certain PNG files come through really well. So start there, ungroup it, get my phone number in this. Just make this one. I don't need a bunch of people giving me phone calls. Computer. So if you go to the home button, it should be just under home. It says MySpace. Now you do have to be logged in. It's all right. You do have to be logged into your account, your xTool account, for that MySpace to show up. So that could be the problem too. So, uh, you guys, if you didn't notice, you can actually change your screen to white if you want white. I did it on accident. Should be red. So it's inside my laser. So basically, start with a circle. I just click C, hold shift, make a true circle. So your both would be the same. We would do a 12-inch circle. Um, and I'm gonna snap it to the top. That puts me within my box 12 by 12. On the phone, you have to upload it from so in your saved files, you have to say that you have to send it to your, uh, sorry, you have it in there and jump around. Be recent. I don't have it connected, so I don't know if it's not going to let me do it because it's just not connected or what. Let's see. See if I connect for a second. So again, people that don't know, I work in the engrave all the time because I like to see color. I'm a color guy. Um, it just helps me visualize things a little bit better. So something like this, I think I want to fix this. I don't want this to be a hanger. Actually, I think I just ended up deleting it because I didn't like the way it turned out. And then same thing here. I didn't like this because you'll see why in a little bit. So easiest way to do something like this little imperfection in here is just double click it. It gives me a note editor, and then just the area you want to get rid of, just hit delete. That cleans that up. Red layer. And I want to put a black border around this. So just go to offset. Um, um, so this one, I'm gonna leave it solid. I'll explain out why. Because I'm gonna make it so it's acrylic sign, so it's gonna be a backer for now. We'll see. I'm having discussions. I'll let you guys pick and let me know what you guys like. So something this with the black. So now it should be in front. So I don't want this in front. Go over here and move it back. Send to the back. So that gives me that. I want my two to be kind of attached to my E here. So that's something both. Should make it bigger a little bit. Just make it a little bit bigger. Ready. So, so this just gives me three contact points. So when I engrave all this, the black piece and then this piece would be one. So I'm selecting those two black. Again, this is a separate, see, separate. I'm debating. I'm going to cut it out or if I want to leave it. So I want to union these two together. So just select both blacks there and then union. And whenever you union something or do something, it always brings it to the very front. That's why I did that. So I'm going to send it to the back. Don't lie to me. I have no idea why that two turned. I wish I grabbed it. Undo is your friend. That one. Got one too many selected. Yeah. So now paste. So like that's what I would cut out of a piece of acrylic for now. I don't know. What do you guys think? Cut the two out or let it sit on top of it? That's what I'm questioning. So this, we're actually gonna not put in either. Leave it so I don't lose nothing. You hold shift, move it around with your mouse. Great. Group this one. Group this down. See why I should do it. But yeah, we're just making a sign, guys. If anybody's popping in here or there, don't think I've had too many people on tonight. I'm gonna be doing these more weekly. I'll get more people, but it is what it is. Offsets. Again, this is another tool that I keep telling a lot of people. It's a very handy tool. It's more than what it people think it does. Um, way better than it used to be by far. So right now I'm gonna cut this out. And this is where me and the wife have a discussion. You guys tell me what you like. I copy this right now. I have it off the side. I think you should cut it out. She wants to cut it out like this. You guys tell me. Not like that. Who might cut it like that? Hmm. Make a copy. They are, and that's what I've been doing. It's either last or the first of the month. I'm not saying I won't miss one of those, but I got a 10-day show coming up, and that one's gonna keep me away for a little bit. So we'll see. I'm debating. I'm debating if I want to go live down at the show or not. So this one's bugging me because I don't know why it's cutting out. And that's why. What's it doing that? That's weird. Really weird why it did it that way. Interesting. Don't know why it did that. It's like it's a separate entity, but it's I don't. So what do you guys think? Blue in or blue out? That's the question. I think the blue out, but so the background will be like white, so it's kind of why I'm doing it this way. It's the question. Me and the wife are arguing on, so let's see. It would be. That's why I'm debating if I want to do it. So kind of get the other camera here where I can let it pan and stay with me and kind of see where the show goes. And you just might have to deal with a lot of people, so I don't know how that's gonna roll because Thursday night, it depends which Thursday I did it. First Thursday would be kind of boring. Second Thursday might be more busy. But so what I'm thinking, white riser, black letters, red letter. I just don't know if I like the blue in there. I think it looks weird. I still like that. I don't know why. I know, but doesn't that look cleaner though? I don't know. Well, I could keep it separate. I can always put it back in there. Maybe I'll do both. I'm gonna put one on both sides, so maybe we'll just do one on one side and one on the other side. Don't say his and hers. Let's see what people can do. It's all good. Um, Pam, this is something that we talked about a little bit earlier. So QR codes, guys, I mean, they're actually really easy to do on here. So again, under applications, there's code generation. So if we click on code generation, like this, I swap on my website instead of writing it in there and people, it's a long website. So it's www.e2engraving.com and save. So what it does, it automatically creates it. If you click on that right now, it should take you to my website. Uh, I don't like engraving this as a PNG file. So again, when all I do is I go in here and I trace it. And whenever you create a PNG inside of xTool, it does a really good job of tracing it. So now it's a perfect copy. Now I can just use my engrave settings. I might be a little washed out maybe, but I've not had any issues. So put box around this one. Another thing that people have talked about, and me and Prem talked about this a little bit earlier, is doing boxes. So if you do a rectangle, square, you can add radiuses only to the box and only if you haven't modified it yet. So as long as you don't do nothing to it, you can add radiuses to the corners. It's obviously really small. That was huge. 2 to 5. So And they'll always be there and they're nice, but again, order of operations. Again, Harvey, that is exactly the reason why I might do it, is to do a live there just to bring people down there and say, hey, I'm on YouTube. I don't know. I gotta see what kind of music they're playing down there. Sometimes I might get yelled at. So YouTube's gets fussy about music sometimes. So that would be the question. So smaller. So and then like this, I'm gonna select both these, even though they're separate letters, and I do have a group, but you can offset. Once you select them both, it will grab everything and offset. So if you only want the outer shape, which is really I do, let's see if it fixes it. Yeah, it did fix it. I think if you clicked that button beforehand, it would have got rid of like these inside pieces. Um, so again, in this case, I will just come in here and just delete those nodes. It's the easiest way. Now to get rid of some other things, I'm gonna show you like I'm gonna transition these together and some other things. Put that in there. Sure. So there's ways to fix that. So if I don't want this circle to move, I can go in here and lock this. And now I can't accidentally grab this and drag it out of the way. Again, just one of those tips and tricks. So like this, actually this way might be easier than the way I originally was going to do it. I want the circles to go the other way. So what I'm going to do, and this is where people get confused on how the boxes and circles, and again, I was talking to Pamela earlier about this one is, when do you use this kind of stuff? So like a box in this generation, I want to hook this, these bubbles to this box. So I just create on here, create a box. And again, I don't have to be perfect. And I don't even care if I'm overlapping the black because of what I'm going to grab to union these things. So I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to grab this one and this one. And then I'm just going to union them actually. In theory, it's a delete. It's a way to subtract. But obviously, I got rid of those items. So then if I want to go in here and clean this up, again, just go new edit, square it up, but I want to make sure this is square. So what you can do, so if I grab just these two dots and I go up here, that squares it up. Same thing over here. Let's see something that I'm telling you this one first. So again, grab that one, and that one, square it. Again, I know this is again. I'm still learning on what to show you guys. I've seen people want to do how to do projects, so I kind of hopped this one on here. I know I probably should have posted this one. I'll probably get more people, but we'll flip it out there. I'm gonna leave. And then this one, what else can I get rid of? That's gonna be another transition. So one thing I did do today, and see if this works again, because usually I can try something once and it works once and never twice. Let's see if it works. I want. So this is the other feature that a lot of people don't utilize. So these here are guidelines. Uh, stamping. It might not be perfect. The thing I wish that we could do is move these things like incrementally with the crosshairs and stuff, but now this will actually snap to that line if I have snap on. So now it snaps right to that edge. At least I know it's there. And I could put another one in here if I wanted to, but so what I want to do is union these. I'm gonna see if this will. It worked earlier today, but see if it still does. So what I did, it's the one time, the only time I suggest using the scissor tools. So I did want to make that one line. I want to make that line. That's where the happy. That's where I can go back here and do this too. So you can grab that node and it will snap to that line now. So now I should be able to kind of add a node. Tell you, I need a node there. So I'm not going to let me delete it. This is where it's not going to work for me. This is where it's going to get funny. It's going to yell at me. So technically, I can take this and drag it up to this one. See what it goes. Not playing grave. So I thought I was going to do. So that's where it is. So this does work. It does work. We just have to do it a different way. So what it wants when you do this, that gotta actually be inside. If you think, I mean, that's actually not bad. So inside the circle. And then if I union these together, basically I'm just trying to get a halfway decent arch and inside of a corner. Again, someday they'll come out with this and it'll be a great feature that we don't have to do all these weird things for. Union. So I don't do that. It's very excessive. This. Again, it's a long way around of getting a radius in a corner, but it is doable. I mean, in all honesty, I don't really even have to join these because it should actually, if I go to engrave this, because it's still all one piece, it's just weird. Okay, it did actually fail. I was curious if it did it would or wouldn't. But again, I can actually just drag and manage, escape. Again, there's like 10 different ways to do this. So it is one way to get there. It's a little harsh. Man, another way. I like that because it makes it a nice smooth radius. You can just go in here with a node editor like this. I mean, node, you need to have 3 points just to make this because I got a point there, point there. Then I can just radius this. It's not always perfect. So that's where it gets, what's I'm saying? It looks flat. It's not sitting right. This needs to be a little fun. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of tweaking. Again, we can get there. It's just like the other one actually looks cleaner. It's one of those things. But again, pen tool is another really cool feature. So if you're trying to transition something, it's kind of what I'm going to do here. Again, I don't care that I'm over top of these letters. What I'm doing now is I'm going to union this to, let's see. That's where people get stuck like, oh, I can't go over top stuff. Yeah, you can. It all depends on what you're going to end up grabbing. So like that. I just double click, it just gives me a normal radius. So what I'm doing. So now I have that box. I'm gonna do this. One piece. Again, I'm unioning it. I'm not subtracting because I'm pushing the two cookie cutter pieces together, so it makes one piece. So now it's all one piece. That's obviously again. I'm gonna copy this one, so that's one of my cutouts. Visuals. All right, so right now I can't select that background. All I gotta do is right click, unlock. Now I can grab it. Tract. So white background, white background. That would be my sign. Maybe add a couple holes, the hangers, circle, holes up here. There, copy, paste. Sure it's not paste now. So dots. But yeah, no, definitely not a lot of people on. I don't know if Paul's still hanging out with us. Harvey, I very much appreciate you. And that's the sign I'd hang at my show. So it's kind of we just went through, just kind of doing a sign. Somebody else looks like they just popped on. If you got any questions, you can throw them in the chat and kind of go over anything. Doesn't have to be E2 or P2, S1, whatever. So what's time is that? 10 o'clock. What else? What else? So like I said, this will be something yeah, I try to feed the group, man. Buying lasers sucks and learning how to run the damn thing suck and it sucks to spend that much money and not be able to do anything with them. So that's why I do these, help people out. Again, I can do one-on-one stuff. I do demos for xTool. So again, there's links in the chats below. So you guys got any other questions, you can get a hold of me that route. But this is what it is. I think what else we can go over. Um, I don't know if anybody's used the map designer. This is a separate program again, so they got to partner with them. So it's in here, but it is a separate program. They did cool deals. I've done a little bit of them. It's a little more topography kind of style. But yeah, there's all. Someday we're gonna figure out the nest smart nesting. Doesn't like me very much. Because the whole point of that is supposed to be, let's see it. Let's test that real quick. Test the theory. Rectangle. So, so, the idea of smart nesting, I tried this with another customer's generic shapes, like imported shapes. And I'm wondering if that's kind of why it didn't work. But smart nesting, it's saying the bed, but let's say 11. This is a long way. 17, 11. Start posting. See, so all that does is it puts it as close as possible, and it's a box, and it's going to go 0, 0 is where it's starting from. That's why it's doing it, and that could be why it was making it mad at me. Interesting. But yeah, it does work. So I mean, it definitely utilizes. This one's kind of weird, where it's still got a gap, and that's probably why because of the overlap. But it's a very, very, very small. I think that's what this downslout packing is. If we go down to other, what there's an option in here. Yeah, turn that on. You can actually space them out a little bit farther. So it's one of those things. If you're doing a bunch of the same stuff, this is a great feature. But that sucks. Sorry to hear that, Harvey. But yeah. What else we got? Let's check something. This was another thing that got brought up quite a bit. So if you go to use slats removed, I want to change a setting. We're gonna have a laser connected, so let's go to P2SL, see if that connects. Go to P2S. It does. I've talked to a lot of people. I'm surprised how many people are still on the older version. I hope you're not on the old version, Harvey. Been out for a little while, at least a month, not longer. Eventually tonight I'm gonna do this ammo can. Refresh. So in this case, if anybody ever has an issue with this being like really dark and you want to be able to see more, again, we're just gonna throw some stuff out here. Settings, device settings, this background brightness increase. This is one that Cole that's kind of messing with in the base plate detection. Uh, turn that on. I'm gonna turn this on for a second because I want to see something. Should yell at me here in a second, but so the brightness, what that brightness does is it kind of backlight it a little bit more. Sometimes it gets really, really bright, but I can see edges now though, so it's handy. Uh, didn't run into it, so it's a good sign. Thinner than it wants to, so it's still too high. We'll fix it. But I know a lot of people are going to process because like this is slats removed. I hit slats removed. I don't know why people are getting base plate issues. Just makes me wonder if they're not going to slats removed. See, wonder if they're going to one of these or something. No, no. Interesting. I've seen a lot of people saying, "Hey, it's telling me my base. I need to remove my base plate." I mean, technically, my base plate is removed, so I guess. Let's try that real quick. Here it is. What you You took a bunch of football pictures. Oh, let's see. Hold on, let's sign it there. And refresh. Already my table is. Again, if anybody's on that's got questions, I'm more than open to answer any type of questions. Just kind of go over some random stuff. We just showed how to kind of make a sign. It's kind of what all this is. We're planning on making a sign for my business. Got a show here tomorrow on Saturday, so be a layered sign. So this will be white, this will be white, black. Probably gonna be red in there. I gotta look at that. Harvey's probably right, but yeah, I don't know why they're having issues with this. I don't know why that warning's coming up. Because really, you should be able to leave the base plate in there and still run an open plane. Because all that does is let you go below the slats. So again, those are just one of the issues I know people were having. Um, Again, these are ones you can turn your exhaust fan off. People, I know a lot of people have taken them out of their P2s. You can actually hit the switch, turn it off. So, but this is another one on all lasers. You can turn the buzzer off. I know this was one that Nicole had an issue with. That's what we got. We figured it out for her because it was beeping all the time on her and it was really annoying. And then again, for P2S users, engraving cut. I mean, even S1, you know, adjusting this stuff to be different. I'd never run engrave at 100%. I mean, I gotta be careful how I say that. There's benefits to an extent. If you do want a little bit darker, you can try running your engrave a little more air assist. The odds of something potentially happening to your lenses goes up though. So just be aware of that. And then this higher X acceleration, I think this actually is pretty handy. There's a download to use this feature in XCS. You have to download a setting. Most people don't know about it. I want to see, should be in here. This algorithm package right here. So you can updates. Make sure that's downloaded, and then the other one will show up. So what else we got? I think that's gonna be it for tonight, guys. Again, if anybody else has got anything to pop in, well, that's garbage. At least bring your laptop. You can bring it on, work on some designs, Harvey. Play with XCS. So, so yeah. I mean, again, we're gonna try this the next week. So next week, again, if people that haven't been on, I'm going to have four other demo hosts actually hop on with me, ask questions. So hopefully they'll all be posting it. Right now it's gonna be on my YouTube channel, and they're probably gonna try to get it on Facebook on one of the xTool channels. Trying to ask. We'll see if we can get it granted. But Jacob Jingleheimer, people have last seen him in our chat rooms. Mike Smirka, uh, Carrie Young, and Steve Avery are guys that they've all been working with xTool. We've all done shows together. Um, it's one of those things. So yeah, we're all gonna hop on, do a little round table, ask questions, ask us anything. When I ask business stuff, you can ask us business stuff. So they'll be keep an eye out for that one. So that live will be probably posted here probably by Sunday night. Just so if you want to start asking questions on that one, I'd appreciate it. So we have stuff to drive off next week. So other than that, I think I'm signing out. You probably have seen them all. They are very, I feel like those are the ones that are more interactive with a lot of people as that group of people. Mike is obviously one of the guys that's lucky to get the first metal fab, so he's been busy doing a lot of metal fab stuff. Um, Jacob is just all around knows lasers in and out. Uh, Carrie, myself, and Steven, I think are just kind of xTool gurus. I want to say it. So I'll call myself a guru. I think I know enough with xTool and XCS and how everything works that we can help most people out. So we'll get us all in a room and see if we can help some people out next week. As of right now, no, not that I know of. No, no, nothing yet, but just be patient. There's always xTool's xTool. I mean, you always want to wait for the first of the month before you buy anything. So I just be patient. That's all I got to say. I don't know if anything's coming. Holidays are usually big, so that's another one I'd never buy anything new. I like doing holiday stuff. So it's 4th of July coming. There might be a sale, might be something coming out. I don't know. So just one of those things. Thank you. I appreciate it. 2-day shows. I love them, but I hate them. So, all right. Everyone have a good night. Hit me up if you got any questions.